Hello, everybody. My name is Martha Alter Hines, and I'm with Living the One Light. All right. In this video, I'm going to talk about the astrology of 2025. And this is as I was sitting down to record this video about the astrology of 2025, what's happening is actually this big influx of beings wanting to speak. So it's going to be partly me talking about the astrology, but also either directly channeling or just letting come through what's wanting to come through from the spirit world. They're getting very adamant right now. They have certain things they want to say. Wow, it's very strong. Yeah, I'm just going to let them talk for a moment. Clearly, they need to speak. It's like getting stronger and stronger. So I'll start out with channeling, then we'll see what they say, and then I'll come back to the astrology. I have a sense of what some of the themes are they want to talk about, and it absolutely is relevant to the astrology. So, but I'll give them their space first, because yeah, this is very intense. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna let them come through. Okay, yes, hello and welcome. So yes, we are a realm of benevolent beings, the council of benevolent beings, a realm of infinity, really, the infinite realms of benevolent beings. And we're going to be speaking to you even more and through you in the gathering that Martha's holding, the free gathering on Sunday, December 22nd, 2024. We would like to invite you to be there because there's more that we would like to support to move through you and through Martha, for you, for all of us. And essentially the message we are feeling very powerfully about in this moment is that this is a time, as Martha has been channeling and saying repeatedly, where we're absolutely needed to come back into the wholeness that we are, into the reality that we are, the all that is, the reality of yourself as wholeness. So we've channeled in various forms about this in the Wholeness Way series, which is available if you have not accessed that yet. And we encourage you to continue to ground into and embody your wholeness over and over and over again, because that's the number one need in this time. And it's very hard to move forward without a truly embodied sense of the reality that you are. You are the wholeness of existence itself, literally. So we encourage you to keep being with that reality. And the other very powerful need we have right now is to also convey that in the coming months and years, something that's coming back online so powerfully in this time of great remembering that you're in is that it's a reconverging in a couple of different ways, both being under that overarching umbrella of wholeness. Number one, we are converging back into this council of infinity. So again, we're going to be holding this free gathering with Martha, through Martha, on Sunday, December 22nd, 2024, where we will officially gather in that way. But the real point is that the dimensions of all of time and all of space are reconverging into the reality of themselves as the one. So we've said this also many, many times, but we feel a need to say it again just to reinforce it and keep supporting this, that for eons there has been an illusion of separation of the dimensions from each other, of place and time being separate from each other. In the ultimate reality, there is no time and there is no space. So all dimensions are one, and all realms of beings are one. And you are a being of existence. You are a being of the wholeness of all of time and all of space. And it is natural for you to be in continual dialogue, continual communication with any and all dimensions throughout all of time, all of space, and beyond that into the void, in whatever way is exactly in your own ultimate radical highest good and the highest good of the all that is. Not in a way that would overwhelm you, but in a way that is in the right regulation for your nervous system, for your being, who you are in any given moment. But this is absolutely crucial, that we have been in a time where those dimensions have felt and seemed separated, that they're not. And the fact that they're not, that they are actually one, and therefore able to communicate anytime, constantly, that reality is coming back right now. And that will be so powerfully present in the coming months, in the year of 2025, and certainly far, far, far beyond that. And another component that is absolutely crucial in terms of this re-embodying of the wholeness that we are, that existence is the reconvergence of the divine feminine and the divine masculine into the reality of the power of the love of the two as one. So this is something we'll hold space for more over time. But we want to mention this, that this love, this colliding back into the love of what existence actually is incredibly crucial. The illusion of separation between the feminine and the masculine is damaging, is dangerous, has caused so much of the suffering, possibly even all of the suffering of the planet Earth at this point. And so this colliding back into the love of existence of your own inner feminine and inner masculine is life-changing, world-changing beyond words, beyond what we can even convey here. So we'll leave this here for now and let Martha speak. And we'll be back in the Council of Infinity on December 22nd, 2024. Oh, well, actually, we'll add one other thing. Another component of what is coming back alive as this wholeness, this oneness, and the illusion of separation collides back into the reality of wholeness. Another level of reality that's coming back online is the awareness of, and therefore the ability to be present with the realms of existence, including crystalline realms and the quantum realms. and so much more. So this is something else we'll also be holding space for over time. And Martha will say more about how she's going to be a conduit of that in this coming year. And many of you are conduits of that. But this is also crucial. This is also key because as we come back into the wholeness of existence, one effect of that is then the ability to come into the quantum realms of existence. And coming into that quantum realm, the vibrational quality of quantum realms and quantum vibration, if done while also incredibly grounded as Earth, that has the ability to also change the world in its own way. So many of the shifts that are needing to happen on this planet are needing to happen in the quantum realm existence, in a sense, from the inside out, where your own energy body is held in a way that's grounded, that it is safe, and where you are held to come back into that wholeness that you are, and then the light of you and the being of you can collide into that quantum realm way of being. And it's really beyond, so far beyond words, what occurs when that quantum realm is ignited. It's a bit beyond maybe even the imagination at this moment, at this point. It's like whole other worlds open up. So we're very, very much looking forward to that reality and holding space for that reality in the coming months and years and beyond that. That's a huge part of how the world shifts over time. Okay, thank you for listening. And so it is. Amen. Okay, well, that they just said a huge part of what I was feeling called to talk about. So great. That worked out. Um, Beautiful. Wow. Okay. So now for the astrology of 2025, yeah, of course it fits really beautifully, really perfectly. Um, okay. I have to switch gears a little here. I need a minute. Yeah, maybe we can just let that settle for a minute in our nervous systems and our bodies and our beings. And I would love to know what comes alive for you in that. What do you feel as these beings are speaking? I feel so much light, quantum light vibrating in my being. That's what I'm feeling. Okay. So, yes, okay. So the astrology of 2025. Um, so I'll start out by saying, many of you have already signed up for this. I have a free 2025 Cosmic Wisdom Guide, which I'll show you here on screen so you can get a sense of what it's like and see if you want to download it. It's entirely free. Where in that free guide, I talk about 6 of the top themes of the astrology of 2025. And what I'm going to talk about in this video is related to that. Then I also have created two different documents, so the mini one is free, where I talk about 6 themes. Then I have another Cosmic Wisdom Guide for 2025, where it's called the full 2025 Cosmic Wisdom Guide, where I talk about 16 themes of the astrology of 2025. And that I've just put up on my website today, actually, where you can buy that if you want. Oh, and it comes with, so it's that guide with the 16 themes plus a document that I spent literally months. I spent months creating all this because I went through meticulously looking at the transits of the main planets, the 4 main centaurs. Um, I think it's 19 or 20 asteroids, 9 Kuiper Belt beings, and Lelia Kuhanua and Sedna of the Oort cloud. So in this 47-page document, I have gone through all of the main transits of all of that, all of those things I just named, and I've listed them out. And then what I did is I went through month by month throughout all of 2025, and I created basically like a calendar, a list of the main transits of every month as well. So if you want both of those, that's available on my website as of today for $25. And then I'm also going to be holding a workshop on Monday, December 9th, 2024, which comes with those guides. Plus, at the workshop, which will be live and recorded, 2-hour workshop, I'll explain more about, my perspective on those themes, and I'll use some of your volunteer charts, and we can look at how these main transits might be impacting your own chart, depending on what is really, what are your kind of hot spots of your own chart. So I'll go into that, and in the workshop, if you happen to be wanting to look at your own chart specifically, like in detail, I have some availability to do one-on-one year ahead sessions. Not a ton of availability, but I have some. So you definitely could schedule that. I have some time in December and I have some time in January. I might put more availability in January on my website soon, maybe. But yes, if you want that, definitely take a look and sign up for that. And yeah, okay. So all of that's available. Any and all of it. The free guide, the $25 guide, or the workshop, which comes with the guide, the full guide. So yes, so let's talk about some of the big themes. And I would say what I just channeled is the biggest set of messages I'm feeling with regard to the coming months and the coming year and beyond. But let me tell you a little more. So here I'm going to show you the free guide because it has pretty pictures and it'll help me explain what I'm trying to explain here. Not Zoom, that's not what I want. And again, this is the free guide that you can download. I have the link here with the video and you're very welcome to it. Okay, so yeah, 2025 top 6 themes. I'm not going to necessarily talk about those exact ones here, but just to give you a sense. So, okay, this is really, really, really important. One of the biggest things that I feel when I look at the astrology of right now is the reality that starting at the very outer edges of our solar system with Sedna, and then working your way to which is something that's much, much, much closer, but also on the outer edges of what we consider our solar system, Pluto. Those two beings in 2024 have now switched signs. So Sedna, as of what is it? I think it was, I thought I had it on here, but I don't. I think it was July 2024. Anyway, in 2024, April, has now switched from Taurus into Gemini. Pluto, as we all know, on November 19th, 2024, just entered Aquarius, finally. I mean, it's been going back, both of them were going back and forth between the two signs, respectively, for, the last, year and a half-ish. And now they have fully moved into their new sign. So we have, the way I feel that is that we have those two outer beings really kind of holding down the fort. Like they're the base notes of the main things that I think of in astrology. And they both now have switched signs. So they're holding down the fort of that Gemini Aquarius trine. So they're trining each other. And so you can think of it like on a piano, the bass note being played very consistently now. But then what's fascinating in 2025 is that the next three planets, so Pluto being, Sedna being way, way, way out there, Pluto being on the outer edges of our solar system, the next three are Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn. And all three of those next ones in 2025 will make their first pass into their next sign. So all three of them are at the very end degrees of the current sign they're in. And in 2025, they will enter the new sign, but they'll go back. So 2025 for the three of them is a transitional year, because then it's in 2026 when all three of those fully enter their new sign. So we have Sedna and Pluto like playing these bass notes on the piano, really holding space, really holding down the fort in a sense, to give room for the next three to do their transitional dance back and forth. So Neptune and Saturn will both move from Pisces into Aries in 2025, and Uranus will move from Taurus into Gemini, basically right where Sedna is now, right? And I'll talk more about that in a second. So, but then in 2026, it's not until 2026 that Saturn and Neptune actually come together at 0 degrees of Aries. And then they also fully, Neptune and Saturn fully move into Aries in 2026. And Uranus moves fully into Gemini in 2026. So 2025 really feels like this testing out the waters of what is this Neptune and Saturn in Aries energy, and what is the Uranus and Gemini energy. And that's one of the really beautiful things about the dance of the cosmos, is that we things go back and forth. There's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of energy of, because everything is in cycles, and nothing is, there's nothing linear really in real life. So in nature, natural life. So we get this, as these big shifts are happening, especially with the outer planets, we get time to test things out, and to then integrate, and then test again, and move on then after we've done it once before. Or in the case of Pluto, we had a chance 3 times because Pluto, moves even slower than these other ones. So so in 2025, we have Neptune entering Aries on March 30th, where it stays until October 22nd. So Neptune is going to be in Aries for about 7 months of 2025. We have Saturn entering Aries on May 24th until September 1st, 2025. So Saturn will be in Aries for only about 3 months out of the year. And then we have, sorry, this is in the way here. Then we have on July 7th, 2025, Uranus entering Gemini for about 4 months until November 7th, 2025. And so you get that sense. It's like the middle section of 2025 is when all three of these planets do their kind of testing of the waters of their new sign. And then it's in 2026 when all three fully move into their new sign, right? So on January 26th, 2026, Neptune will fully enter Aries. Just a couple weeks later, on February 13th, 2026, Saturn will fully enter Aries. And then the two of them, Neptune and Saturn, will finally come together. They're going to get so close in 2025, but they're not going to quite touch until February 20th, 2026, when they're going to be conjunct at 0 degrees, 44 minutes of Aries, which is the very, 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 very first degree of Aries. Like, I mean, of the entire zodiac. 0 degrees of Aries is the first degree of the entire zodiac, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So Saturn and Neptune coming together then is like, that's a very, very big deal. But we don't have that until February 20th, 2026. So in 2025, it's like we're getting a kind of taster of those energies, but they don't fully do it until 2026. And similarly, Uranus will fully enter Gemini on April 25th, 2026. And then, really big deal also, 2026 has just some very powerful energies. On June 11th, 2026, Uranus will square the nodes of the moon at 2 degrees of Gemini, 2 degrees, 42 minutes of Gemini. So that is a whole topic in and of itself. I have many feelings and thoughts on that. I'm definitely feeling into that reality. And I can say more about that another time. But yeah, so that's what's coming in 2026. It's a really big deal. And the Uranus squaring the nodes of the moon will happen just before, like a month and a half before the nodes switch signs into Leo and Aquarius. So very pivotal time. Summer, June, July of 2026. And all of 2026 is big shift, huge shift in energies. And 2025 is really like the preparatory time of that. So another big thing happening in 2025 also is that in January 2025, the nodes of the moon are going to switch in from they've been in Aries and Libra for almost a year and a half. And then in January of 2025, they're going to switch into Virgo and Pisces, where they will be for another year and a half. And then, like I said, on July 26, 2026, they'll switch again to Leo and Aquarius. And that starts a whole other thing. So like that's down the line. That's going to be a big deal because, Pluto is in Aquarius. And so the north node of the moon will eventually be conjunct Pluto. That's a whole thing down the line there. But yeah, so on January 11th, 2025, coming up very soon, in just a month and a half from when I'm recording this video, the nodes of the moon are going to switch into Virgo and Pisces. And so, anything in your chart that you have in the mutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, and Sagittarius, especially from 11 degrees to 29 degrees of those signs, will be very powerfully highlighted in 2025. Very, very powerfully. And I'll talk more about specifically which areas of your chart might be especially highlighted in the workshop. So come to that if you want to hear more about, such and such degrees, XYZ. I'll have more time in the workshop to do that. But now let me show you. Yeah, so here is the free guide, and you can see the pretty pictures. Um, so let me get, yeah, okay, here is something I want to say more about. Okay, so this is a really big deal to me, really big deal, and it ties in so beautifully, so powerfully with what the spirit world just channeled through me for you. um, in 2025, Sedna and Uranus are going to both be with the Pleiades. So Sedna already is in the, the beginning of Gemini. Sedna is a whole topic. Sedna is so far out there that it's really not on the ecliptic at all, and so it's a little tricky to say that it's with the Pleiades. But just for simplicity's sake, I'll just say that it is. Uranus absolutely is going to be with the Pleiades, very, very specifically. And and Pluto now is trining the Pleiades. So the Pleiades span, it's thought of as 7 stars, but it's actually way more stars than 7. But it's spans about approximately from 29 degrees of Taurus to approximately 1 degree of Gemini. And so Uranus, as it goes back and forth between Taurus and Gemini, will be going back and forth, will basically be sitting with the Pleiades for months and months and months, which is a really big deal. And and Uranus will be trining Pluto during that time. So, okay. So relating to what I just channeled, what feels so alive and super exciting to me, really important, is that the energy of the Pleiades in 2025 is going to be so alive. I think for many of us. I mean, I feel it coming for me. Definitely, I feel that energy coming. And I don't have anything even in my chart that's necessarily particularly, well, you could say my Mercury squares the Pleiades. So maybe that's part of it. For me, maybe that is part of it now that I think of it. My Mercury in Pisces, yeah, squares the Pleiades. I was thinking I don't have any real aspects to the Pleiades, but actually I do. Um, but I think for any of us, regardless of whether we have aspects to the Pleiades in our charts, I can imagine, I can feel this energy of the Pleiades being really, really, really alive. But especially if you have anything around that 29 degrees of Taurus, the end degrees of the fixed signs, so Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, those are those mm, those square the Pleiades, and also if I mean, or sorry, aspect the Pleiades, and also if you have the very, very beginning degrees of Gemini, especially, but also Sagittarius, Pisces, or Virgo, then this area of your connection to the Pleiades might be particularly alive. Again, though, for all of us. And so one of the things I already am feeling in that is that I've said this a little bit, I've been getting such powerful directives over and over and over and over again that I'm feeling this council of stars. So I see it as a circle of stars above my head or above our heads or whatever it is. The circle of stars convening into a council of stars as part of this council of infinity. So of course the stars are part of the infinite realms of existence, right? And I feel this council of stars convening because they're part of what's needing to hold space for the earth in this time. We are in a major time on this planet. We know that, right? There's so much stuff, so much real suffering, so much. And just as the channeling conveyed, my very, very strong sense is that the answers, the transformation, the healing that's needed on this planet has to come through has to come through our quantum realms and our connection with and oneness with these infinite realms of benevolent beings, which includes this council of stars. So one of the things I'm going to be hosting in 2025, starting in April of 2025, and I just put up the sign up sheet just yesterday, actually. So now it's available if you want to sign up. I'm going to be holding a year, 13-month journey called The Stars Speak. So I'll say more about that in a second, but it's all about this reality that we can do this all in our different ways. You don't have to be part of that journey, but obviously you can be if you want. Is that we're really have this opportunity and this calling. If you feel it in your being, then it's true for you that many of us are being called to come back into direct relationship with these beings that are these stars, just like our own sun is a star. So our own sun is part of this council of infinity, certainly, and also is part of the council of stars. And one thing I feel in that is part of how I'm going to hold the Stars Speak course is I feel our own sun in the center of this council, and then above our star is the energetic of Polaris. Well, technically, Polaris is, our own Earth pole star, but there's something about the Polaris energy that's holding the space of this council in some kind of way, is what I'm feeling. And then there's these other, infinite stars actually that are part of the council of stars. Um, but we might be called to connect with certain ones at certain times. And so I feel the Palladian energy to bring this back to the Pleiades and Uranus. When Uranus is conjunct the Pleiades, the energy of Uranus and the energy of Pleiades to me are both so powerfully magical and quantum. Both of them are quantum energy for me, and they're going to be coming together from our view, right? So the energetic of the quantum realm of Uranian energy and the quantum realm of the vibrational quality of the Pleiades are going to be boom in one part of the sky from our perspective. So it's like taking two tuning forks that are both quantum realm vibration, and suddenly, boom, they're going to be singing a song together. Whoa. I it's it's already so powerful. Like, what? It's gonna be so beautiful. Yeah, and so we'll have the opportunity this year to really feel that in our own being, because we are tuning forks as well, right? We're literal vibrational beings. Everything is vibration. And so when those two vibrational qualities come together and suddenly are creating this song together, that then vibrates in our being and things can come alive. Yeah. So there's so much there. And I think this conjunction is going to help us both to connect in with with the Council of the Stars, the Council of Infinity, the spirit realms in general, um, and also with the quantum realms and the crystalline realms of existence and of life, and also to be staying grounded in it. So there's a really grounding quality at the same time that we go quantum. Really cool. That might be my favorite of the themes of 2025 that I see coming. Okay. And then again, I'll talk more about all of this in the workshop. Um, or you can download this guide and see more, or download the full guide and see even more. But, we have Saturn finishing its journey in Pisces and entering Aries. And while it does that, it's squaring the galactic center. It's going to be squaring the galactic center and squaring Varda. Varda is this being, super beautiful, light goddess being, she is the wife of Manwë. She is a creator goddess. She's a Tolkien character, and she's one of the Kuiper Belt objects. And she's conjunct the galactic center right now, and she has been for a while, but she will be through all of 2025. In 2026, she's finally going to be moving into Capricorn. But yeah, so that energy is really, really strong. I'll say again more in the workshop, etc. So beautiful. And yeah, and same with Neptune. I don't have that here, but same with Neptune. Neptune also is finishing its time in Pisces, of course, entering Aries, squaring the galactic center and Varda as it does that. And then another theme, that's going to be really alive is the Mercury retrogrades are all going to be in the fire, water signs. And so there's this just very transformative, magical quality available with that. That's a whole topic in and of itself. Again, you can see more in this free guide if you want. And like I already talked about, the nodes of the moon are going to move into Virgo and Pisces. And so that's going to highlight that whole axis of the zodiac. And again, if you have anything in your chart from 11 degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Gemini, or Sagittarius up through 29 degrees of those same signs, wow. Just wow. 2025 is going to be a big year for you. And yeah, I have lots of stuff. My whole chart is practically that. Yeah. So no, sorry. 11 degrees up to 29 of all those mutable signs. Yeah. Okay. So that's what's in the free guide, and those are the major themes that I'm feeling in 2025. Of course, there's so much more, and I'll just show you really briefly the full guide. So just to give you like a sense of what some of the other themes are that I see in this year. And you can then, choose if you want to go more deeply or not. But just either way, I'll just show you these pretty pictures and give you a sense of some of my thoughts. All right. Okay, so here is the full 2025 Cosmic Wisdom Guide, which again, you can purchase on its own if you want. Comes with the full transit guide, which I'll also show to you in a second. And yeah, and I'll talk more about this again in the workshop in more detail. But yeah, so this guide has the top 16 themes instead of the top 6 themes of, planets, asteroids, centaurs, Kuiper belt objects, and the Oort cloud. And so it starts out the same as the free guide. And then I talk a little more about the Pluto Sedna trine. And then I add in like Neptune, not only Saturn, doing that dance. I also talk about Jupiter. Jupiter this in 2025 is going to be in Gemini until June 9th, when it's going to enter Cancer. So Jupiter spends approximately 1 year in each sign. So it will spend about half the year in 2025 finishing up its time in Gemini, and then it'll have the first half of its time in Cancer. So anything you have in the second half of Gemini, first half of Cancer, approximately, will be really, really highlighted by Jupiter. Jupiter's going to go direct on February 4th, 2025 at 11 degrees of Gemini. So big, that 11 degrees of the mutable signs is a really, really big placement this in 2025, because it's going to have Jupiter going direct right there, and it'll have the nodes of the moon passing by that spot later in the year. So toward the end of 2025. So yeah, if you have anything 11, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 of the mutable signs, so Pisces, Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, big deal. That's a really big deal. And like I said, that's like my chart. That's my entire chart. and the mood switching. And then, yeah, and then there's this whole beautiful thing going on with the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde. They're both going to go retrograde in from Aries into Pisces. So they're helping to do this, to bridge this dance between Aries and Pisces, which is going to be huge in 2025. And Kaylin Castell and I are holding an entire free symposium summit in March, because that's when both the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde are going to be happening, and the and Neptune switching into Aries, and the sun switching from Pisces into Aries at the equinox, and then the two eclipses. So that whole eclipse season in March is going to be absolutely huge. And these themes of the Pisces Aries dance are going to be really, really big in March of 2025. So Kaylin and I are going to hold an entire free summit that month, and we're really excited about that. Definitely would love for you to join. So that's coming up. And then I also talking here about the Mars retrograde, which is happening actually starting December 6th, 2024. Mars is going to go retrograde at 6 degrees of Leo, where it will be retrograde until February 23rd, 2025, and it'll go direct at 17 degrees of Cancer. That's a whole topic. And Chris Skidmore and I are going to make a video on the Mars retrograde in the next couple of weeks, because that's just a really, really powerful, beautiful, important, very important topic in and of itself. As Mars goes retrograde, it's going to be squaring Chiron. It's going to be opposing Pluto. So there's, a lot of potential for very needed healing with regard to the masculine, and with regard to, I would say, the feminine masculine dance, and our own inner relationship to the masculine. So again, Chris and I will talk about that in a video coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. Then the Nessus is going to have a really interesting dance with Saturn. I'll say more about that soon. And then some of the goddess asteroids are also going to be very alive in a really interesting way. And those include Estrella and Diana. Those are both asteroid goddesses. And I'll say more about that in the workshop. There's so, like, that image of Diana right here, I just love it so much. And then, like I said earlier, Varda, who is this light goddess, she's going to be really present also, which I love. And Haumea Haumea's been in a square with Pluto for quite a while, but she will still be squaring Pluto. Haumea is now in the beginning degrees of Scorpio. Pluto is now in the beginning degrees of Aquarius, so they're squaring each other. And when we look at Haumea in the sky, which I will do in the workshop, what we actually notice is that Haumea is in or near the constellation of Boots, near the star Arcturus. And Arcturus has to do, again, with the divine masculine for me. So this theme is, again, really, really alive, this opportunity to do this very powerful healing with regard to the feminine and masculine energies of ourselves, of our world, and there's so much more there that I'll say more about in the workshop. Yeah. Okay. And then really briefly, I'll show you how I have outlined the transit guide as well. So you can get a sense of what that's like. See if it's something that calls to you. I would say the full Cosmic Wisdom Guide and the free guide are great for anybody of any level of astrology knowledge. If you're a complete beginner, it's absolutely perfect for you. And if you're a professional astrologer, is perfect for you. Those are really universal. But then, just kind of as a bonus, if you happen to be really into the details of astrology and you want more, I'm also just giving you this transit guide, which I made for myself. Again, it took me months and months and months and months of work. So I'll just give it to you in addition when you either buy the full guide or you come to the workshop. And so I'll just show you here what I have done with that. So here is, yeah, it comes as a PDF, and what I do is I give you these major highlights, and then a lot of which are, all of which are actually in the guides with the pretty pictures. But then I go through all of the main planets. So Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, and the nodes of the moon. And I give you, all the main transits of all of those planets. And then I also do the same thing with the 4 main centers. So Chiron, Chariklo, Pholus, Nessus, and I think it's 19 asteroids. Ceres, Juno, Pallas Athena, Vesta, Hygeia, Estrella, Pandora, Asclepius, Eros, Psyche, Cupido, Lilith, the asteroid, Diana, Sappho, Pan, Shiva, Parvati, Kali, and Ganesha. And then I include, I think it's 9 of the Kuiper Belt objects. So the ones I include are Varda, Manwë, Haumea, Salacia, Makemake, Gong, Erisina, Quawar, Ixion. And then I move to the Oort cloud where I talk about Sedna and Leliakuhanua. And then I go through all the 2025 new moons, full moons, and eclipses. And then I've grouped everything by month. So, each month then I have all the main transits listed out so you can see them each month, kind of some of the highlights coming up each month through the rest of the year. Yeah. Okay. So, but I think honestly, I think that what came through in the channeling was the most important of anything I just said. I hope the astrology was interesting too, but if I had to vote, I would say, yeah, channeling was, I think that's the real point of what I think is really available here in this time, and with us as a collective, and with us as a community, and with us individually. And yeah, I would love to hear what's alive for you, what feels true to you, what's calling to you in this year. What do you feel like are the opportunities? Yeah, there's so much suffering in our world, clearly. And so I really do feel strongly that the opportunity is to come into this wholeness that we are, to ground as Earth, the reality that we are Gaia, to come back into these quantum realms, these ways of knowing and these ways of communicating with the infinite realms of existence, the council of infinity, all of this, right? I feel like that's really, really crucial, important, and available this year. So that's the big, big, big themes I'm feeling. But again, I would love your thoughts. And for those of you who are interested in possibly being part of things with me in 2025, let me give you a gist of a rundown, because I now have it all available on my website as of today. And some of it's free and some of it's paid and some of it's shorter term and some of it's longer term. So let me just give you the gist. So again, on December 9th, 2024, I'm holding this Astrology of 2025 workshop. I'd love to have you there. That workshop comes, though, as a gift with certain things I'm going to mention about all of the astrology courses I'm holding in 2025. If you sign up for those, you get the workshop for free. Just included. And yeah. And then on December 22nd, 2024, I'm hosting this free Council of Infinity gathering. I would love, love, love to have you there. I would love to have you invite anybody you feel called to invite. And the the beings that just channeled through me just talked about that. So that's, yeah, love that. I hope that will help set up our year really beautifully, collectively, individually. And then, okay, so then I have 4 courses I'm teaching in 2025. And one starts January, one starts February, one starts March, and one starts April. And they're all a year long, each one. So, okay, so the one in January, starting the second Friday of January, is going to be called A Year with Ben Huis and Friends. So in that one, I'm going to be every month, we're going to meet twice a month, the second and fourth Fridays of the month. Everything will be live and recorded. That goes for all of my courses. You can be there live. You don't have to be there live. It'll all be recorded and you have all of it indefinitely. I'll just say that across the board. So for the Ben Huis course, we meet twice a month. And each month in the first gathering, the second Friday of each month, I'm going to be channeling every month a message and a healing journey with the inner mountain beings. And so they're going to be kind of hosting us. So every month will be hosted by these inner mountain beings, which I've been talking about a bit. And I had a gathering just a few weeks ago, which a lot of you attended, which was really, really magical and beautiful. And so every month in this year, we'll go back to being with these inner mountain beings and their community and their world, their crystalline quantum world. And then we're going to get visited also by other realms, other benevolent beings. So like unicorns, dragons, I'm not exactly sure who's going to show up precisely, but I can just feel it. There's a lot of different ocean realm beings, that kind of thing. And the point is that all of these beings are needing and wanting to convey to us and through each of us, like through me, but also through you. They want to help us wake back up to remembering their healing knowledge. So their wisdom about the crystalline realms, the quantum realms, like what is it? To feel it, to be able to see it again in our own beings, our own bodies, helped activate it and help to bring back through the healing wisdom of those realms. So I'll say a lot, I can say more about that in another video, maybe just in and of itself, because it's a whole topic. Yeah. Uh, mm, that, yeah, there's so much there. And yeah, so I feel nervous to talk about it and also really excited all at the same time. I'm holding that in a very tender, careful way because, it's a lot of honor for these beings. Yeah. Okay. So that's starting in January of 2025, going through from January to December. Meets twice a month. Okay. Then in February, I'm starting my Infinite Soul Wisdom Astrology 101 course. And so I'll put all of these links here. You can see more about it on the website there. But essentially, if you want to come into relationship with astrology, with your own soul wisdom, your own soul knowing of the cosmos, like kind of from the ground up, please join this course. I've been hosting it this year for the first time, and I cannot express, I knew it would be amazing, but I cannot explain or express how powerfully beautiful this group has been, this year has been with this group. We just did some of the people in the course just did a video with me recently about Pluto moving into Aquarius. So some of you got a taste of what part of that group is like. And obviously that was just a little taster of who's in that group, but I mean, amazing beings, right? So if you want to I should say this course is perfect for any level of astrology knowledge. If you know absolutely nothing, all the way to the point that you are already a practicing astrologer and you've been an astrologer for 45 years. Anybody is welcome in this course if you are wanting to reignite your own knowing of the cosmos, of the planets, of the zodiac, of the stars, of the constellations. So we do learn from the ground up the cognitive information about astrology, but we do that, but it's really not so much about like memorizing things. It's about having it wake back up in your body and in your being. And yeah, I just can't even explain how amazing this year has been. And I have many testimonials from people that also from who are in the course right now. It's like, wow, I'm so touched and honored and blown away by how this time together has been affecting people. So, and then in March 2025, for people who have done the Astrology 101 course, I'm going to be doing Astrology 102. And if you do Astrology 101 this year, you could do Astrology 102 next year. Then I will, in 2026, also be offering Astrology 103. By the end of Astrology 103, you could be a practicing astrologer, theoretically. Also in 2026, just as a little preview, I'm also going to be hosting a soul business mentoring program. So I'll say more about that coming up. But the big vision of these astrology courses, and actually the soul mentoring, soul business mentoring program will be open not only for astrologers, for people of any healing modality, really. Whatever your soul calling happens to be, you're welcome to be part of that in 2026. But the big vision is that I'm being asked to really be holding space for a massive ecosystem where we are all welcome. We are all called into whatever it is our soul is here to do. And this ecosystem, like I get shown it as a redwood forest, we're all nurtured to be the soul being that we each are, right? And so what I get told is hold the space, let every being find their place. So it's like in everything I'm doing, free or paid or whatever, even if you're just here listening to the YouTube channel and that's your place in this ecosystem, what I'm really feeling is that we need thriving soul community, and we need energy nurturing us and nourishing us on that deep soul level. And yeah, and so that's the purpose of absolutely everything I'm doing, right? So there's no one right or wrong way to feel called to be part of this ecosystem. If you want to just listen to the YouTube channel, and that's awesome. That's great. If you feel called to be part of everything I'm doing, that's great. Whatever, wherever your soul knows the way, as I say on my website. So then the other thing that in April of 2025, the other thing I'm going to be doing, which I'm so excited about, is the Stars Speak course. So that's going to go from April of 2025 to April of 2026. It'll be 13 months long. The Astrology 101 course and the Astrology 102 and the Stars Speak are all 13 months. The Ben Huis is 12 months. But in the Stars Speak course, which again I'll say more about later, but it is available if you feel ready to sign up for it now. We're going to go through those 13 months with the part of the sky, whatever part of the sky happens to be particularly visible in that time of year. So we will connect directly with the constellations visible in that time of year in the evening, and we'll learn about the science, the astronomy of those stars, of those constellations, as well as the mythology with Chris Skidmore. Um, and then I will do a channeled portion of every month in that star course, and also in the Astrology 101 course, and also where you come into your own direct relationship with whatever stars or part of the sky we happen to be focused on at that point. And then we have small sharing circles where you get to share what is coming through you regarding the wisdom of the star council and the star remembering. That's so, so, so alive, I feel, in this coming year. And then also in the Stars Speak course, there will be 4 other guest speakers, amazing beings. So I will be holding most of the gatherings. Chris Skidmore will then join me for one gathering per month throughout the whole year to do the mythology part. And then 4 times in the year, we will have a one-time workshop with the following people. Kaylin Castell, Heather Ensworth, Divine Harmony, and Julia Balaz. So, because the 4 of them are amazing, right? Most of you know them, and each of them have knowledge of the stars that is just, they're like the 4 people that immediately came to my mind. Well, it was who the spirit world asked me to ask, and they all said yes. And they just each have a relationship with the stars that's so beautiful, so unique, so special. And I have learned so much from each of them individually. And yeah, so they will each hold a one-time workshop throughout the year with us. So it's going to be an amazing time. Amazing time. And so perfectly aligned with this, with the astrology coming up in 2025 that, and what I'm really feeling from the spirit world again, which is we're coming back into this council of infinity, which includes this council of the stars, and they are really trying to ground in, trying to hold this space with us, for us. And so this Stars Speak course will be one way of doing that. And actually everything I'm holding in 2025, each in their own way has a component to doing that. The Ben Weiss, for sure, the Astrology 101, for sure, the Astrology 102, and the Stars Speak course. All the point with all of it is the same thing, which is coming back into this reconvergence of the wholeness that we are as all of existence, of all of time and space, of all of the cosmos, and coming back into the deep inner ancient wisdom of our own soul and our own being, which is needed. And here is perfect, amazing timing of fireworks. That was so cool. I wish I knew how that happened. Anyway, that was amazing. Perfect way to end. Okay. There you go. Okay, that's the stars speaking or something. That was very funny. I think that's it. I think that's it. Wow. Okay, I might have forgotten something, but I think that's perfect. Alrighty. Please be in touch if you have any questions. Also, with all of those year-long courses, I have sliding scale options. And if you are called to do more than one, I'm creating kind of like bundles for people. So like if you're called to do 3 of them, let's say, or even 4 of them, I'm creating special bundles that are, to give you a discounted bundle. Yeah, so I've already started creating some of those bundles for people who have asked, and I'm more than happy to do that. Just be in touch. And actually the Astrology 101 course and the Stars Speak course both come with a 25% discount on anything else I hold. So if you do either of those, and you feel called to do anything else, you take 25% off anything else. So including each other. Like if you do the Astrology 101 and the Stars Speak, you get a 25% discount on one of them, right? So yeah, anyway, but I also have the sliding scale options, etc. So trying to be flexible with your needs and also support me and my kids as I hold space for all of these things. All right. Yeah, in the meantime, sign up for the free cosmic guide, sign up for my new free online community. Join me for the free gathering on December 22nd. I would love that. And if you feel called, join me on December 9th for the Astrology of 2025 workshop. And yeah, oh, and I have now some 18-month payment plan options for the courses I'm holding in 2025 that, if you sign up before January 15th for the Star course, and I think the Astrology 101, you could choose this 18-month option if that helps you kind of spread out the payments more. But yes. Okay. Anyway, many choices. Be in touch if you have any questions. Thank you so much for listening. It's an exciting year ahead, and I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so happy we're doing it together, which is the point. Alrighty. See you all soon.